Hello, Grandview. It's time to talk about opening things back up as we try to find ways to come together to worship physically in our spaces. And so here's the plan. Before I present the plan and before staff presents the plan, just want to make sure you know that we are not rushing into this. We are aware that this plan that we've made is subject to change and more likely to change than not to change. But you have to start somewhere. So we also want to make sure you know that we understand everybody isn't ready to come back for whatever reasons, whether it's because you are immunosuppressed, whether it's because you're just not ready for it, whatever it is, we understand, and we want to allow for that and make sure you know there's no pressure here. So the highlights of the plan just include this: gathering in groups of 50 or less and spread out through our variety of sanctuaries. We will have what we're calling hygiene machines as a part of this, what other people call sanitation stations. We would like for you to bring your own masks if you can. If you can't bring one, we will have some for you. And also, because we're going to be meeting in smaller groups, that means that we will be having more services than we originally had. I'm going to invite Brandon in to tell you more.
Hey everybody, we are going to be making a number of changes to the way that we do services over the next several weeks. So starting on May 31st, we will begin gathering on campus at both the Buffalo campus and the City View campus to have in-person worship services again. And at the beginning, these are going to be capped at 50 people. That includes ministerial staff and volunteers and folks who are coming to worship. And we're going to ask you to register online for those. And I know that's a little weird. I know that's not something that any of us are used to or that we anticipated, but that's going to help us control the number of people who come in so that we can keep these worship services as safe as possible. We're going to be doing some other things to the worship services too, just to modify them a little bit to make them a little more sanitary and make them healthier spaces for you. So first thing is we're going to be double cupping our communion. That means that you won't have to reach into a tray full of bread to grab out something. You'll be able to just grab a little cup that has both bread and juice and take it with you to go. It's disposable and it puts you into very little contact with everybody else. We will be shortening the services just to make sure that we have time before and after the services to clean everything really well so that we can make sure the space is safe for you. We're wiping down bathrooms and door handles and banisters and seats and everything that we come into contact with regularly. That's going to be treated before and after every service. So that, the way that we handle services is going to be just a little bit different. We'll have more services. So at the City View campus, we'll have a 9:30 and an 11 o'clock service. And then at the Buffalo campus, we will have a 9 a.m., 10:30, and noon service available for you. And at the same time, we'll still be doing our live stream services. So if you don't feel like coming yet or you feel like you're not ready, those will still be available to you. Starting May 31st, those will be moved to 10:30 a.m. because we're actually going to be live streaming that 10:30 service at the Buffalo campus, which will remain that blended format of contemporary worship and hymns. So just bear in mind, it's staying 9:30 a.m. for right now, but starting May 31st, moving that to 10:30, and you can always catch it up a little later on the sermons portion of the page if you miss it the first time around. Other things that we want to mention to you, when you do come to the campus, we are going to have only that upper entrance available to you at the Buffalo campus, the one outside the Blue Sanctuary or the Grandview room. So just make sure that you're all coming in that way so that we can minimize the number of things that we come into contact with here. You'll be able to see other details about how we're changing the service in the plan itself. So when you get a minute, please read through that whole plan. We tried to keep it as short as possible, but that'll give you a really good roadmap of where we're going over the next couple of months as we cap services at 50 for that May 31st date in all of June, and then we bump it up to 100 in July, and in August we'll try to get back to some semblance of normal in August and September. Again, that's the plan now. It could change. We're going to have Mackenzie come over and talk with you for just a minute to wrap up this little video and the overview of our plan. So if you would, listen to Mackenzie.
Hey guys, So the most important thing to remember is where you can find this information. And first off, it is on our website in the yellow box that you've been seeing lately, and that will be a little link that you can click there. If you don't want to go to the website, it's also on our Facebook group in the files box. So if you want to go in the file section and click on that, and it will also always be in our weekly email. So if you haven't gotten that, you can always email office@Grandview and then get on that weekly email so you make sure you're up to date on all of this, as it is subject to change, and we can't stress that enough. We want to do this safely, we want to pay attention to guidelines, and we want to be aware of public health and public safety, as we are a community that cares about one another, cares about doing this well and wisely. So all of this is subject to change, could change as things develop and move, and we are going to be flexible as a community around that. So find a way to access that either on our website, on our Facebook, or via the newsletter to make sure you're up to date. And as those plans change, we will update all of those ways of accessing. Now, if you are on a ministry team, and this means greeting, worship, set up and tear down for the City View campus or anything else, we will be reaching out to you in this coming week. So you don't need to reach out to us. We will reach out to you and let you know how this will be affecting you. Again, we thank you guys for being so patient with us, and we're really excited about finding a way to move forward into this new time of worship together as a community. And as always, we love you guys, and we are grateful to be in this worship community together.